Hi, my name is Damien, aka SauceBoss, and here's my review of Hardcore Mecha for the PS4. First, let's get into the story. Hardcore Mecha is a 2D action platforming mecha game developed by indie studio Rocket Punch Games. So, first of all, before I really get into the story, I want to say if you are a Gundam fan, this game is for you. The game takes place in the year 2219, where humanity has created the new United Nations. Your main character, Tarather O'Connell, is a mercenary who, while he's on a mission, ends up getting entangled with another group, and the story just blooms from there. There's a lot of big ticket moments that draw you in, a lot of space fights. Overall, it's just really interesting. It'll keep you hooked, and it'll keep you playing and ready to move on to the next level and just learn more about the story. I don't want to get into spoilers in this because I do think this is something you need to play through. But overall, again, if you like Gundam, then this story mode is for you. So by the end of this, I'm probably going to mention Gundam like 20 more times. And leading into this next part, you're going to see why. So with that being said, we're going to move on to gameplay. Alright, so gameplay and combat is pretty straightforward. You have two melee attacks that you could use. There's a main gun and you have sub-weapons. When you go through a mission, you have the opportunity to collect other sub-weapons to help you out on the fly. You could also get different items to help you out as well, such as healing items. You can get a micro missile, shields to help you with defense if you have a large number of enemies on screen. There's a lot to do. And you also have a ultimate meter. So after you destroy a certain number of enemies, the ultimate meter fills up and you are able to use that for a special attack. Another cool aspect of the game is while you play through missions, you're going to collect blueprints and money that you can use towards development. When you go to the development screen, you're able to unlock new special attacks, sub-weapons, and armor pieces to help change your playstyle. So if you want to go in and be a melee player, you can lower one parameter to make your recharge faster for your sword, or vice versa. If you want to use your beam rifle, you can lower one parameter to make your shots stronger and your recharge shorter for those weapons. It's a really cool system, and as I said before, there's a lot that you could do to upgrade your mech and make it more powerful. They have it pretty balanced because you can't just go and grind the first level and get a lot of money and then get the strongest weapon in the game. You actually have to level up by defeating enemies and increasing your rank so you can get new items. And you're going to need those new items for the boss fights that are up ahead. So overall, I have to give another point to this game for the boss fights. I enjoyed all the boss fights that I played so far. I really like the fact that the majority of the time you have this quick build up leading into the fight. Generally, you could be going through a mission and let's say, you have a hazard coming at you, giant lasers, whatever. And, at first you're looking at it like this is just, a regular part of the mission. And then you have that anime breakout scene and then the giant boss fight. So, that reminded me a lot of, big anime moments in general. And I'm a big fan of anime, so, that was just a major plus for me. Just kind of having those visual moments and then, the big fight just to kind of, I guess, get you hyped up right before you go to work. But my only gripe when it came to boss fights are There wasn't a lot of backstory beforehand. I know you see a few of the bosses early on, but for me, outside of your rival, I don't think a lot of the bosses had a lot of build up before their missions. Like I said, you have some set pieces right before the fight, which I did think were cool, but I would have liked a little bit more story background dealing with each boss, just so I could be a little bit more invested. I did enjoy the bosses in general. They all had their own little gimmicks when it came to the fights. For instance, there was one fight that I remember where you're fighting on a water base, and pretty much if you fight the boss underwater, you're more likely to get hit by attacks that have high damage output. But you have to fight the boss underwater to do the most damage. So it was kind of a balancing act when it came to that fight, but it still made it fun. And like I said earlier, you could play through some missions, customize your mech, and come back and just be that much stronger and have a totally different experience. So multiplayer mode is pretty straightforward. There's an online multiplayer and then there's a local co-op. Unfortunately, I was not able to do any online multiplayer modes because I was not able to find any matches. So hopefully in the future, people will get on and pick this game up, and I can fight somebody online, because that was one of the things I was looking forward to. But outside of that, I did play local multiplayer. I did a lot of the free-for-all mode, and again, pretty straightforward. When you go in, you're able to pick a pilot or a mech with their own preset loadout. There are some mechs that you can get as DLC. What you're looking at right now is one of my favorites. It's a sniper that has a long-range beam laser, which beam laser is the same as a laser, but you know what I mean. Anyway, he has a long-range weapon that does a lot of damage, and it's nice to sneak up on people and use that. Outside of that, again, multiplayer is pretty straightforward. Get the most kills, which means you get the most points, which means you win. So multiplayer, in that aspect, it is what it is. I had fun. I just wish that there were more people available online so I could run some matches. In closing, I had a lot of fun with this game. Like I said earlier, it really gave me the feeling of being like a Gundam pilot in the TV show. And again, I also had a lot of Metal Slug vibes with just the amount of pickups that you can get in the middle of a mission. There are also little points in the game where you're able to jump out of the mech and kind of do these stealth missions. I didn't mention that earlier, but that is in the game as well. Again, overall, Hardcore Mecha is definitely a buy. If you have the opportunity to get it on sale, definitely pick it up. Whether it's in the PlayStation Store or on Switch, which I don't know if by the time I post this video it'll be out on the Switch, but I know it's coming out for that system as well. So if you guys get a chance, definitely pick up this game. You will not be disappointed. And again, with that being said, this is SauceBoss Gaming. I'll see you at the next review.